Hi everyone, it's me, Teresa McKelvey with the Yarn Shop Around the Corner, and today I have a very special guest. As you all know, I've been talking about all the other businesses coming into Dadeville, and so today I talked my good friend here into doing a video with us. This is Miss Audrey.
Hi.
And she owns Find a Way Counseling Services, which is located right across the street, which is wonderful. And Audrey, I've been very open and honest with my friends. That's what you all are. Friends about my mental health struggles and how much crocheting and knitting and dealing with yarn has helped me with my mental health, improved my mental health so much. And so I was really excited to talk to you and to even partner with you in a way. And so I just wanted you to talk a little bit about what you do and maybe even give us some tips.
Sure. Thank you, Teresa. Well, I created Find a Way service to help children, teens, adults, couples, and families deal with personal difficulties, much like you described. Anything from anxiety to depression, anger issues, mood swings, conflict, relationship issues, insomnia, trauma, or perhaps someone's just feeling stuck in their lives.
Yeah.
They just want to move forward, make some decisions, maybe even just lead a more joyful and meaningful life.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's great. Now, don't you have a little bit of background working with some military members?
Yes, I was, I'm a military brat, and I was
Right.
also in the military for 20 years, so I retired
Right.
from the military. And then I worked as an instructor, also teaching resilience skills with the Army for over 10 years.
Wow, that's
So
great.
I have a lot of experience with
Yeah.
the military.
Oh, that's wonderful. So, and testing out these resilient skills.
Absolutely,
So, yeah.
testing them out and being able to convey them, hopefully in simple terms, because I think
Right.
when people feel relaxed and comfortable learning something, then they could take it with them and it could really make a difference.
Yeah, I think so too. Now, tell us some of your tips that you would have for us.
Okay, well, there's one tip, and I see it reflected in you all the time,
Oh,
is to maintain a spirit of optimism. Especially during the pandemic. It's so important because we as humans are wired to be negative.
right.
We
Yeah.
have what's called a negativity bias. And it served us well many, many moons ago when we were worried about the saber-toothed tiger hiding in the bushes and we needed to remember, where is danger?
Right.
But nowadays we don't have those same physical dangers. And so most of us, like me, have to be very deliberate in savoring, and I'm going to borrow a term from positive psychology, savoring the good in our lives, not taking those, even the smallest things for granted, and so some people keep a gratitude journal.
Yeah.
I highly recommend at the beginning or the end of the day, just recalling 3 to 5 things that was good about the day.
Yeah, or 3 of your favorite yarns.
Oh,
You
three of
know,
your
I
favorite
mean,
yarns,
yes,
absolutely.
because there have certain yarns that I touch it. Ooh, this is so soft, and I like the colors, and that's why I have a lot of people come here and go, oh, I just love being surrounded by the colors, and I think that
Absolutely.
that's just remind yourself of 3 colors or yarns that you like.
Absolutely.
So.
It relates directly to a resilience skill. It provides a grounding. It is not only a distraction, but it gives you a sense of touching something, and it just
Right.
kind of like helps to settle the
Yes.
person.
Yeah, I
And it's
completely see that.
absolutely, it takes your mind off of worries and just getting involved in an activity that you can engage in what's called flow, where time passes and you don't even realize it.
Yeah.
Like we sat in your shop last
Yeah.
Friday, and I was surprised after
You were,
2.5
I remember.
hours.
You were like, what time is it? Yeah.
That was flow. We were all
Right,
in,
yeah.
and that's wonderful. And it could be anything from gardening, knitting and crocheting,
Right.
baking. With guys, a lot of times we see flow going on in the garages and workshops because they're work on their projects.
Right.
So that's really healthy, and sometimes that's one of the first things to go when people aren't feeling well. So just to get back into it and or find something.
Right.
And what I love about your shop is that you make it so easy.
Oh,
and,
goodness.
and because it can be a little intimidating because I hadn't knitted or crocheted since college.
Right,
And I
right.
felt really comfortable coming in and
Oh,
just
good.
being able to pick up what I could and I've actually been doing it.
Oh, good. That's awesome. Yeah, she did. She came in and she started knitting right away, and just to hang out with us, which was so fun. And you already had that much done just in that time. That was awesome.
I still do, and you know, it's better than watching TV most of the time anyway.
I agree.
It really is.
Yeah.
You engage your mind a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit of a challenge, but then you create something.
Right.
Create something beautiful, and even if it has a few little mistakes, that's okay.
Yeah, you know, and I think that's especially like if you're kind of goal oriented, it's such a fulfilling feeling, you know, to have accomplished something, you know, to sit down and go, okay, I'm just going to make a dishcloth today.
Yeah.
And, you know, to get that done, it feels like, okay, I've accomplished something today.
Absolutely.
Small accomplishment, but I did something today, you know what I mean?
That's right. That's
Oh,
absolutely
that's
right.
great.
Yes.
And or do you have some more tips for us?
Another tip, and this is something that we all end up sort of falling victim of, is to be careful of thinking traps. And thinking traps are shortcuts in our thinking where we will, for example, jump to a conclusion about somebody or some situation without really knowing all the facts.
Right.
And that kind of can backfire on us, or we can get us into a little bit of a tough situation, or making assumptions. We make assumptions. We really don't know, and we judge the situation, we judge the person. Personalizing, when we take everything personal, like it must be my fault, there's something I did wrong, and these are all like thinking traps. So, so just to take, you know, a step back and say, well, wait a minute, what's really going on here, and not to fall into some of the thinking traps that are kind of out there. Or if you see someone else engaging in, at least you know, like, well, you know, that's what's going on here.
Right. You know, when I first opened the shop, I was real intimidated of knitters. I was just assumed that they thought, well, she can't knit, you know, because all I could do was crochet. And so I was always putting on them this judgment that I thought they had of me. And so I was like, I know, I'm not a knitter, you know, and they would be like, no, I think it's great that you're a crocheter. And then I was like, well, I have a knitting machine, but I hide it in the bag. They were like, no, bring it out. But I would not have known, you know, because I was assuming. I was assuming, and I was like, okay, well, I won't even, like, you know, talk to them about knitting because I don't know anything. And they weren't like that at all, but it took me a while to realize I was doing that.
Yes.
And so I like that idea that you're saying is to recognize it as a thinking trap. And then, so what kind of things can we do to rewire when we do notice it?
We do notice it.
Yeah.
Let's just take a step back and say, well, what is the evidence here? Do I really know
Oh, I
that
like
for
that.
sure?
Yeah.
Do I know for sure?
Did they say that they don't
really
like
say?
me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of times we're doing it to protect ourselves, or we were brought up with people around us that were always talking that way, so we kind of pick up what's, and it's very prevalent in society. So it's just an opportunity to take a step back and say, well, wait a minute, no, I may not be right.
Oh, I like that. I like it. And give them an opportunity.
Yeah. Like instead of trying to mind read, you know, ask them.
Yeah.
You know, ask them. And most people have a bias in thinking that, and I'm this way too, that other people don't like us very much, but they really do.
Yeah.
But we tend to be hard on ourselves, and so paying attention to that self-talk. What are we telling ourselves?
Right.
You know, sometimes, especially women, we beat ourselves up. We don't need anybody criticizing us. We'll beat ourselves up worse than anybody else. So just to go easy on yourself and have that self-compassion.
I agree. You know, I used to feel guilty for how much time I would spend crocheting. And I would think Jeff would come home, and I would think, I thought, you know, already before he got there, he's thinking, you've crocheted all day and you haven't cleaned, you haven't done all this. And he's like, you're so much calmer and nicer that you crochet, that I'm glad you're crocheting. We can do the cleaning together. We can make dinner, you know, but I had already built up in my head all this, you know, argument that never even happened, or his assumption that he was thinking these things, when actually he was thinking, this is a positive thing in my wife's life. I see a positive from it. So I like that you're getting us to think about what we're thinking about.
Yes. If you have to, you know, schedule it in. Schedule it in, some self-care.
Yeah, I love that.
But you were doing it and feeling a little guilty about it. When indeed your husband saw the difference.
Exactly.
It's like it's worth to invest in ourselves.
It is.
That downtime. And sometimes that's hard, especially for women. We take on a lot. and we feel responsible for taking care of everybody else.
Right.
We're sort of last on the list.
It's 100%. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. All right. Do you have one more for us?
Well, I would like to tell you an Alabama story real
Oh,
quick.
I love it.
Yeah,
Yes.
so in talking about optimism, a wonderful story out of Alabama is the Helen Keller story.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
Helen Keller was born and raised in Tuscumbia, Alabama.
Mhm.
When she was about 18 months old, she contracted an illness that left her blind and deaf. And over the years, till she was 5 or 6, the experts were telling her parents to put her in an institution. Well, they ended up hiring Anne Sullivan,
Mhm.
and Anne Sullivan did not give up on Helen. Just kept working with her, did not give up, just kind of like just kept going. And then one day they had a breakthrough where Helen was able to, through touch,
Right.
to make the connection to an item. It was water.
Right.
And after that, it just took off, and she was able to read, write. She was the first blind and deaf person to graduate from college.
Wow.
She went on to be an author, an educator, and a political activist, and accomplished many great things. And I love her essay on optimism. She wrote an essay on optimism. It's called Realistic Optimism, where you don't just think everything's going to be perfect. You accept the reality of the situation, but then you still have hope. You still have hope and move
Right.
forward.
Right.
And you can Google it. It's online.
Yeah,
It's
most
wonderful to
definitely.
read. So Helen Keller is like a hero of mine, and
Yes.
Anne Sullivan actually, because she
Yes.
was the one who didn't give up.
Yeah, they have a Helen Keller Day, and I've always wanted to go to
Oh.
it. And when you can, like, I think you could tour the house that she was brought up in,
So,
or a museum or something dedicated to her. But I haven't ever done it, but I'm always wanting to.
Well,
but
let's put it on the list.
yes,
right?
let's do it. Yes, I just
Absolutely.
think that's great. Oh, well, I have so much wanted to do this video with you because I'm so excited to bring something a little bit more. I'm not qualified, but I totally believe in mental health and taking care of yourself. And so I'm so glad that we have this in Dadeville, right across the street. You know, you're available and you are taking clients.
Yes.
Wonderful. So, and you're so easy to talk to. I think you're going to be a wonderful addition to our community. And so, just want to remind you, it's Find a Way Counseling Services. Now, is it online or on Facebook or anywhere?
Yeah, sure. They can. A person could go to my website, www.findawayservice.com, and you can request more information or a free 30-minute consultation. The first time we talk, there's no charge at all, and you can make some
nice.
decisions about that.
Yeah.
And so that would be a great way to do it.
And you take all ages and couples, is that correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. Awesome, awesome. Well, thanks so much for doing this today.
Thank you for having me.
And she will be here sometimes on Fiber Fridays
I
because she
am.
is a
I'm coming
knitter.
tomorrow,
So,
for sure.
wonderful. All right, well, we look
Uh-huh.
forward to seeing you in the shop, and thanks a lot.